Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. Good morning. How are you today? Hope everything went well. This time we'll talk about interview in this meeting. But before the class start, let's pray together with your own belief. You can start praying now. Finish. And as you can see, I already prepared the PowerPoint for this meeting. Now let's enter the table of contents. There are four objectives in this meeting that we'll talk. The first one is about type, objective, and dates. So let's start with the first one about what? About interview, Stanley. So the first, let's start about interview. There are expert opinions and basic definition in it. Let's discuss the expert opinion first. There are four opinions. The first one is interviews form the backbone of primary data collection and qualitative research design. Unlike quantitative studies, the scope of qualitative study is linked to the agenda of exploring and justifying why a particular phenomenon is the way it is. As such, effective methods of primary data collection are required, and at the center of them is the interview method. An interview is a necessary tool in qualitative healthcare studies. It was the opinions of Stewart, Gill, and Chadwick and Fraser in 2008. Next, there are the expert opinions from Aliyu, Bello, Kasim, and Martin in 2014. It is said significantly, it is evident that interviews are compatible with an experimental or a phenomenological research paradigm. From Scott and others, it was stated an interview is a purposeful exchange of ideas, the answering of questions and communication between two or more persons. And so, and that's the expert opinions about interview. And according to the four opinions before, I can conclude the basic definition of interview is as such a form a form of conversation and idea exchange with the purpose of collecting data or information from others. So now did you already get what will you learn next? Let's continue then. The next one on the list is in detail is type of interview and interview question. So let's discuss about type of interview first. There are four types of interview. There are preliminary interview, pattern interview, depth interview, and stress interview. Preliminary interview is used the most basic interview. All candidates and applicants must go to preliminary interview to decide whether more detailed interview is required or not. Pattern interview is more detailed interview from the preliminary interview. A pattern interview is mean of the pattern of interview is already decided in advance, like what will the interviewer gets from the interviewee, like a social experience, academic situation, health attitude, and whatever it is already decided. What will the interviewer get from the interview? That interview is more detailed from the pattern interview. It is often used as a executive selection in some company or organization. That interview, the purpose of that interview is to get more like attitude, health, social skills, and more. It is more detailed. And stress interview is often conducted in some companies or jobs that have a stressful job. What I mean by stressful is like the job that has short-term deadline, strict discipline. It is the interview of this company is often conducted in stress interview. Next, we have type of interview question. There are four types of interview question in here: behavioral, communication, opinion, and performance based. Behavioral question is most basic question. It was like to see what is your behavior towards certain situations or certain things. Communication is because communicate it was a subset of behavioral question, but because its specialty, because some companies, not some, but many companies have a strict requirements for communication, it becomes another category itself. Opinion question is more like it was some tricky question in interview because interviewee needs to know what is the interviewer expectation from interview answer. Performance based is more likely is it is more concerned about performance, not behavioral. It was like how you perform under a certain condition and situation. So the next one is will be objective or purpose of the interview. There are 8 purpose of 8 objectives that I will explain. The first 4 are this. Interview games gives an opportunity to the interviewer to know about the applicant, verifies quality and accuracy of information obtained through application form and test. Second, interview helps to obtain additional information from the candidates as required by the job. Third, verifies the candidate has written in the CV or the main points. What other additional skill set does he have? All these are known by conducting interviews. Fourth, give the candidates necessary facts and information about the job or organization policies, product manufacturer, and so forth. The next one is 5 to 8. Fifth, it not only gives the interviewer information about the candidate's technical knowledge, but also give an insight into his much needed creative and analytical skills. Interview helps to establish mutual, the sixth interview helps to establish mutual understanding between the company and candidates. Also create a good image of the company among applicants. Seven, interview beneficial for the interviewer and the interviewee as individuals because both of them gain experience both professionally and personally. Eight, interview helps the candidate to assess his creative and analytical skills and know where he lacks and place where he needs improvement. So, to finish to learn about the purpose of interview, we can start the next one. It is tips for interview that maybe you attend in the future because everything with preparation and so interview. I prepared 6 tips for this one. Now let me explain the first one. Be on time because often the interviewers are ready 10 or 15 minutes early before the appointment. Second, listen carefully to the interviewer. Be sure you understand the question. If not, ask for clarification or restate it in your own words. Answer completely and concisely. Third, be prepared for personal questions. Some interviewers might not know what they can and cannot ask legally. Anticipate how you will handle such questions without losing your composure. Fourth, tell the truth. Lies and exaggeration will come back to haunt you in the future because now next we have the fifth. Have some question of your own prepared in advance. There is nothing wrong with having a short list of questions and thoughts. It shows you have done your research and want to know more about the organization or company and the position. Six, focus on your attribute, your transferable skills, and your willingness to learn. Don't apologize for a lack of experience. Describe your strengths in terms of what you can do for the organization or company. And that's all the material you need to learn today. This is some work that maybe can motivate you in the future if you want to attend an interview. What is it? Is there anything that you don't understand from this class, from this meeting? Please feel free to ask, or if you say you also can contact me in person. Ah, yes, for the next meeting, we will have a practical lessons about interview one-on-one, so you better prepare. All right, before we finish the class, let's pray according to your own belief. You can start praying now. Finish. Thank you for attending the class. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Stay safe.